up, we'll have updates from Magento Association.
Thank you. Check, check. Okay, my slides get open now. Okay, that works. Do you go for the? Yeah, that works. So, good morning, everyone. It's a lot of information.
Where's the Nirvana t-shirt?
My stepdaughter has it, actually. I will try to get through this rather quickly. So first piece of information that I still believe is very valid, that we can say Magento is indeed alive. Small side note, it's just too quiet. You know, we should do a little bit more together, create a little bit more buzz around the whole thing. So I tried to illustrate what has changed right now. And in order to do so, I wanted to talk about what it takes to run an open source project as a whole. Because most people think it's code. And that's arguably true, but it's only half of it. And then there's more pieces to it. So you need to do marketing, you need to be at events, you need to have organizational and administrative stuff that needs to be done. And what I think we as a Magento community need to be aware of is like this left half, right? Because that's on us now, right? And this is something that a lot of people seem to forget, that this was always taken care of by some commercial entity. Right? We had Magento Inc., which took care of the marketing and the events and the administration of all those things. But this is now on us as a community. Adobe has made very clear what they are doing and what they're not doing. I personally think that's totally fair and fine. You've seen on Parul's slide how much of the boring code work Adobe is already doing, like PHP compatibility. I don't know who's working in other open source projects, but PHP compatibility, not fun at all. So I'm personally very grateful that we have that. So how do we deal with this part of the work that we need to do? Well, obviously, people can contribute to the project. And there's multiple ways we can do that. And that's, of course, start coding. Parul and Ritesh have explained at great lengths how that works. Review the PRs. However, we can also write content on our marketing site that we have started. Writing content doesn't mean that there's like a huge, gigantic content plan. If someone has a great idea of stuff to put on the website, just get in touch with us. We have very short decision-making cycles. So drop an email. What we can also do is write on social media on behalf of Magento Open Source. So we created social channels for that. And if you don't feel comfortable, writing content yourself because you're not sure if that's also cool, you can also help us just by simply reposting something interesting that showed up on your timeline. It's so easy to contribute. The other way to do that is simply by funding. So you can become a member, a partner, sponsor of Magento Association. So we hire the people that maintain the code base, that do the marketing, and that hire and that work with all the administrative tasks. The core thing, and this is like the key takeaway, is that what we're dealing with now is the most fundamental change that Magento has to deal with ever. And that might sound scary. Personally, I don't think it is. We should all be able to simply embrace it and work with what we have, because there's a lot of opportunity here that a lot of people seem to forget. Some people say that Adobe abandons Magento open source. I don't think that's the case. I think it's more like we can do what we want with the platform, and we do have a strong partner behind us in Adobe. So that would be my key message for today. Now, the super quick update, just what has been going on with Magento Association. Meet Magentos, obviously, we've all been to a couple of them. We can say, with less COVID, there's more events. That's the current formula that I'm going with. And we have all the established events that are basically in full swing. However, we also have revived the meetmagento.com website. also, we do get new events. So from places that have never been home to a Meet Magento event before, which I personally think is great. France has come in like 2 weeks ago, I think. And then we have also old events being revived. So I basically just flew here from Poland, more or less, which has done their Meet Magento Poland also again. Then we have the new marketing site that I talked about earlier. So we have MagentoOpenSource.com, which is primarily targeted towards merchants, because that's who we want to convince that it's still a great platform to build your business on. What we want to do is basically show what Magento can do for merchants, because it's still a choice for a lot of complex or not so complex tasks. It just can do a lot of things. One thing that I would really like, who runs an agency here or does Magento projects? Quick show of hands. Could you just drop me the projects that you did so we can just showcase them? I just need like a logo URL and maybe a couple key points. It doesn't have to be like a super overblown case study, just some small thing. That should be an easy thing to do to contribute to what we're doing. And we also want to explain why Magento open source can be a valid alternative to the SaaS platforms that are eating the market right now. I want to say that on the rise. Yep, then the other thing we built is we have the new e-commerce platform for ourselves. So we were finally able to kill off Patreon. We wanted to be truly global, because what a lot of people didn't know is that people from India, for example, and other parts of Asia couldn't subscribe on Patreon. So they couldn't become a part of well, of course they're part of the community, but they couldn't become a member. So this is stuff we wanted to fix. What we're working on now is that we're integrating that to be your one-stop solution for everything Magento related. So polls, votings, and it's built on Magento. That was one of the decisions that we made, like which platform should we go for, and then we had a long discussion with Mayor and Udi, and then decided to build it on Magento. Yep, then the other thing, I'm gonna just get over that slide, that's the open source council that we're forming. If you're knowledgeable about Magento and you want to get onto the community council, it's basically one step closer to merge permissions, pretty much. So the idea is that the community and Adobe work together and basically just foster innovation and, well, work through the product, pretty much. And bug fixing, but it's code, right? Where there's code, there's bugs, we want to fix those. And then there's, this is also close to my heart, there is a new admin interface being developed by Reply, or by Comrep Reply, is it Reply Comrep, one of those? And MageOS, so big up for that. We still have the call for testers open, and it's very, very close to being finished, so it's really, it would be great if we could get in touch. I'm out there at the booth as well, so that we can get the new admin interface going. If that whole merge process works, we got a couple pretty cool ideas of stuff that we want to do in the future running with the same process. So test, also easy to do. Yeah, so just to wrap this all up, how can you contribute to Magento Association? You can become a member, you can become a partner, you can become a sponsor. Basically 3 different things. We need funding. You can get onto the community council. You can get onto the content committee, start writing content for the website, for social. You can get onto the event committee and make sure that we have even more events globally. That would be really cool. And of course, marketing would help. And development, but that's the obvious one, right? That's what everybody knows. Open source project, code. Yep. So last slide, and then I'll let you go. I would like to show off our generous community-supported sponsors. So there's Shipper HQ. I know there's a guy in the back from those, so thanks. Then obviously Adobe. Also a couple people in around in the audience, so thanks for that. Then we have B Mayor. Where are you guys? Can I get noise? Oh, they're on the booth, obviously. Born Techies and Tactic from India that helped us with coding. Then I would like to thank Hoover for the generous support that they did provide to us. Aheadworks, I know Ravi's in the audience, should be. And then I would like special thanks to Mathias and also terrific minds who are helping out running the platform. So thank you for that. And yeah, I kind of managed to pick up some minutes. Hope that's fine. So thanks for that and enjoy the rest of the day.